With Super Smash Bros. Ultimate being concluded for, wow, almost a year now, we've been getting many platform fighting games that take a company and throw all their IPs into a crossover. We've gotten Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl for Nickelodeon characters, and we've gotten Multiverses for Warner Bros. Characters. But let's be real. There is one company that owns like 50% of all media and has a lot to pull from if they wanted to make a Smash Bros. Game. One, Disney. So I have a video today trying to make the roster of a Disney Smash Bros. Game. Now before we get started, you know what to do. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell, leave a comment, or I will pour salt in your eyes. So how is this video gonna work? Well, I'm gonna make a limit of 35 characters. That might not sound like a lot, but honestly, Disney really has so much to pull from that I could have made this with 100 characters. Maybe if you want to see a part 2 to this video where I make a roster to like a sequel to this game, hypothetical game, you know what I mean? Or maybe tackle a different company such as Universal, or maybe even another video game company like Sega, or I was thinking maybe Capcom or Square Enix. Let me know. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into this. Kicking it off with regular Disney. Not Pixar, not Marvel, not Star Wars, not Fox, or any of the other Disney stuff. I'll get to those later, but this is every character that is from the Disney movies, and Mickey Mouse. Okay, let's get them out of the way. First and foremost, this game is gonna have Mickey, Donald, and Goofy. Duh. But now, about the movies. These are from the movies, from Walt Disney Animations. Let's start with the classic Disney, pre-Renaissance. First of all, one of Disney's most iconic and earliest characters is Pinocchio. So, let's add Pinocchio. In addition to him, let's add one of the most popular Disney villains, Maleficent. Other characters to add from this classic Disney era include Winnie the Pooh and Peter Pan. Peter Pan can play almost like Link, and I'm not quite sure how Winnie the Pooh would play, but come on, it's Winnie the Pooh. I guess this game won't be releasing in China. Over at the Disney Renaissance era, 4 characters come to mind: Mulan, Simba, and Ariel, and hopefully no one will care about the color of her fucking skin. And I wanted to include a character from Aladdin, and I didn't know who to include, Aladdin himself or the genie. And while Aladdin is the title character, the genie is more iconic, so I'm gonna go with the genie. In between the Renaissance era and the modern era, there was a weird time for Disney. The movies differed in quality so much, it is actually kind of crazy. But there is one character, one movie that was very iconic, Lilo and Stitch. And from that movie, we get Stitch. Now maybe we can do like a Ice Climber sort of thing with Lilo and Stitch, but I don't know if Disney would want you to beat the shit out of Lilo. Although maybe that gets contradicted later on, but I'm gonna go with Stitch. Now for the modern era, the era of 3D animation, there are 2 characters that I feel like are no-brainers. Elsa from Frozen and Ralph from Wreck-It Ralph. And that does it for regular Disney. That is 14 characters out of 35. As for Pixar, I'm going to pick 5 characters along with 5 characters from Marvel and Star Wars. But first of all, Pixar, we gotta get some Toy Story representation, and I really tried to diversify the selection here, but for Toy Story, it really came down to Woody and Buzz, and, well, I can't pick one or the other, so I picked both. Monsters, Inc. put me in a similar situation where I was torn between Sully and, but unlike Woody and Buzz, I feel like I really had to pick one or the other. And as much as we all love Mike Wazowski, I kind of had to go with Sully for this game. As for the other 2 spots, I thought The Incredibles deserved a rep, so I picked none other than Mr. Incredible, and I also picked Wally. He can play almost like Rob, but not as annoying. Please. Marvel has become a huge part of Disney. I mean, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has become perhaps the biggest movie franchise, so without question, I think that means we need Iron Man and Captain America. In addition, for some villain representation, I say Thanos should be added in, but have his Infinity Gauntlet be like his final smash or something. I'm also going to add in the Hulk, because the Hulk is one of Marvel's earliest characters. And maybe you're thinking, oh, Universal owns the Hulk. No, they own the film rights to the Hulk. Disney can still use him in this hypothetical game. For the final spot, I'm going to give it to Spider-Man. I thought this one was a little iffy because, similar to the Hulk, I guess, Spider-Man runs into the Sony problem. But then I thought about it and realized Spider-Man was in Disney Infinity, he was in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, and even Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, where the Marvel roster was mostly made up of Disney characters. Spider-Man was there. I'm sure Disney will be able to get Spider-Man in this game if it ever happens. Like Marvel, Star Wars has become huge, and a huge part of Disney, and there are so many characters to choose from, because of so many eras of Star Wars. You got the original trilogy, the prequels, the sequels, there are many characters you can pick from for the Clone Wars, maybe even some of the modern shows, like Andor or The Mandalorian. So I tried my best to get characters from different eras of Star Wars, but really, 4 out of the 5 characters are original trilogy characters, but I feel like they have to be here. You can probably already guess the 4: Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, Han Solo, and Princess Leia. And for the 5th spot, it ultimately went to Obi-Wan Kenobi. I thought of including Kylo Ren to represent the sequel trilogy and replace one of the original trilogy characters, or maybe even add the Mandalorian to represent the shows, but really I feel like Han, Luke, Leia, and Vader, and Obi-Wan are the best options. Last but not least, this is the Miscellaneous segment. These are the characters from Fox and Lucasfilm and other parts of Disney. As for Fox, there are 2 characters that came to mind. One was Homer Simpson, obviously, because The Simpsons has been going on for years and needs a character in this hypothetical game. And what other character to add than Homer Simpson? Plus, you get to have Homer Simpson versus Thanos versus Woody versus Darth Vader. How cool would that be? As for another Fox character, I went with Jake Sully from Avatar, because say what you want about it, I know I was never really a big fan of it, but Avatar is a big money maker for Disney, and they really do want to push it as one of their major franchises. So I think it would make a lot of sense for Avatar to be represented in this hypothetical game. I'm honestly sick of saying hypothetical game, but whatever. As for Lucasfilm, aside from anyone from Star Wars, what character can I pick but Indiana Jones? As for other Disney representations, I'm going to select Kermit the Frog. He can be somewhat of a joke character. I don't really know how he'll fight, but Sakurai made Piranha Plant fight. And look at half the characters in Multiverses. You would have never thought they'd be in a fighting game. I'm sure whoever makes this game, they can do something for Kermit. I'm also going to add Jack Sparrow because of how big of a franchise Pirates of the Caribbean is, and to also get some representation for the rides at Disney. That leaves one spot open, and I'm going to pick a personal favorite of mine. This last spot is going to go to Phineas and Ferb as sort of like an Ice Climbers character, I guess, just because I want to add them. Phineas and Ferb was like my shit growing up, so please put them in this game. And that is my roster, the Disney Smash Bros. Game. 35 characters, quite a lot actually now that I think about it, but again, with how much Disney has, and let's be real, if this game ever happens, it's gonna have DLC. I'd say this is decent enough for a starting roster. In fact, this might be a little generous. You know what I mean? Yeah, this might be a series I want to do. Pick other companies. Like I said, I was thinking one for Universal. We can throw in characters from like E.T. or Jurassic Park. Or do some other video game companies, like maybe Sega, Square Enix, Capcom, Konami. Although Konami actually has one, I don't know if you know about that. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like this video, come subscribe, or I will pour salt in your eyes.